If you're a manufacturer and you're looking for a way to automate your business, then in this video, we're gonna talk about some of the ways you can start the automation process. One of the easiest things to do when it comes to starting to automate your manufacturing processes is to reach out to a company such as ours where we can help with consultation, we can help with quoting. So we help companies with all aspects of the automation process. So if it's the very beginning of automation and you need some type of consulting, or if you already have some process that you want to automate and you're just looking for some insights on how to go about automating that or somebody to execute that, then this is the best place to start. And for a company like ours, if you already have something that you're looking to automate, this is something that we do for free. We don't charge for the quoting process if you already have a specific requirement that you're looking to automate. And even sometimes if you want us to just come in, do a general overview of your facility and see if there's anything in particular that jumps out to us to automate, we can also do that as well. Now, a lot of times it makes sense whenever investing into this, if you don't have the individuals internal to your team to help you make the decision on what to automate first, then utilizing us as a consultant may be the approach. However, let's say you don't want to, spend the money on another company to do consulting, or you just internally want to understand what are some of the things to look for when trying to automate your facility, then I'll give you some points on that as well. So when it comes to automating your facility, you really need to look at what is going to be the highest ROI, right? And if you're already operating a business, then you're already familiar with ROI and how to calculate particular ROIs. Now, there's gonna be a lot of gray areas in this sector that you may not have an understanding on. You may not know robot costs, PLC costs, you may not know just the overall system cost. But one rule of thumb that you can start off with is calculating your labor for a particular process. And then that will give you the number that you're currently spending within a process. And then think about how many of those man hours can be replaced through automation and robotics, or how many additional man hours can be executed with automation or robotics. Let's say, for instance, if you guys are a growing company and you're maybe struggling to meet production needs, then the automation itself could help you get that extra percentage of production to meet your production needs, and in turn giving you an ROI for the automation. So a very simple calculation is just looking at overall what cost is going into your labor, not only your man hours, but then things like insurance, things like workman's comp, any type of injury costs that may be associated, and other things like sick days and other things you got to deal with while having an employee. Then one of the next things you want to look at is how easy is this process going to be to automate. Again, this takes a little bit of some expert experience to really be able to evaluate this, but to break it down as simply as I can, dexterity is one of the biggest challenges when it comes to automation. So if you have a simple square block and you need to pick up this square block and move the square block to another location, super simple, right? There's 100% chance of success, and it's also pretty likely that that system is going to be a fairly budget system that doesn't have a lot of cost associated with it. And when I say a lot of costs, majority of systems run somewhere in between $200,000 and $300,000 for a simple pick and place type of operation. Some of them can even get as low as $150,000, $100,000, and this is with the automation company doing the procurement, right? Or you doing the procurement of the items. So I'm including the hardware costs in this as well, including also engineering. So the cost that we would give to our customer may be somewhere in the realm of $100,000 and $300,000. The $100,000, $200,000 range is very, very low, and most of our projects don't fall in that range, but that would be for a very simple, pick this block up, set this block down, and you really don't need a lot of other interfacing with that. Now, so if you need things like vision and conveyors, obviously this is going to start ticking up and adding to the cost of the system. However, don't let this scare you away, because you can do quite a bit with a $200,000, $300,000 budget. There's just some initial cost to every single system that no matter how budget the system is, you have these costs. At least if you want to keep all the hardware a name brand type of hardware. You can use budget hardware as well and then reduce the cost even more. But let's just say, for instance, at your bare minimum cost for hardware, you're looking at close to $100,000 just for like things like PLCs, robots, control cabinets, the electrical wire engineering, well, not the electrical wire and engineering, but just the hardware side of things that may go into the system. You know, you have your robot tooling that you're going to need to have, robot base plate. So all these things are like the very bare minimum that you can have within a system that creates like the base layer cost of a automation system. So not always is like the highest number of employees the number one thing that you should look for when automating a process. Sometimes it's the simplest process that is the best process to automate, because the more simple it is, the lower cost the system can be, which means the ROI can then come quicker potentially. Now, given the next thing is, and it's what we see with a lot of companies that inquire for us to automate, and I feel like they're just not ready, is maybe they have us come in and look at a system, and this system, or they have us come in and look at a process, and this process is a process that they only do like 30 hours a week. If you have a process that you're only doing like 30 hours a week, the ROI is going to be so far out that generally people are not appetizing that type of ROI. Maybe it's going to take, you know, 3, 4, 5 years to get an ROI on that investment. So you want to have an operation that has 40, 80, 120 man hours in a week. I mean, ideally I want to see like, you know, somewhere between like 4 individuals working in a process, at least for one shift, but ideally, so if you have 2 people per, like, you know, let's say 3 shifts for a total of 6 people, and shifts is a big thing, right? If you only work first shift, you don't work second and third shift, that's also going to cut into the ROI very quickly. But you can really have a multiplier effect if you're running multiple shifts, first, second, third, to complete your operations. Because now, you know, if you're not just replacing 2 people, but it's 6 people because it's 3 different shifts, which will obviously much more quickly get you an ROI. Let's just say we use the number of $50,000 as the budget there. That's $100,000 per shift. Now you're at $300,000 ROI in just 1 year. So if you was to say, okay, I have a 2-year ROI tolerance, you have now $600,000 to invest into an automated process, which a lot of times can accomplish quite a bit of automated machinery. All right, so I just want to give those couple of quick tips. If you have any other further questions, please put them down in the comments below or reach out directly, and we'd be happy to jump on a meeting with you or just make another video like this, answer you in the comments. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. We have a ton of content around automation, manufacturing, how to automate your processes. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.